Hi, this is Guy from UFO Hunters Worldwide, and my friend Steve Ram's talking about some of the reports on the 26th about the UFO drone issues in the United States. And he said something that's really got me wondering myself because I've seen stuff myself. That's the reason why I got into MUFON. I got out of MUFON, but I was in MUFON for a reason because I actually experienced a orb within arm's length. I was in a campground, the weirdest place called World's End Campground in the state of Pennsylvania. It's a state park. But anyways, I saw this drone right up close to me, and I can tell you all about it. But I want to bring up something about these drones that are going around. And my opinion on these drones is that nobody's really been able to figure out a base where they're coming from or whose they are. I mean, I've seen a picture of one it looked like it had been additive printed. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like a well-made hard plastic, smooth shell, and it was a relatively large craft. But and it was kind of a dark, hard plastic, almost metal looking, almost wrought iron like. But the point I'm trying to make is this: that he said something that made me think that they said, oh, these things are looking for radioactive material, it's been lost. But why would they be suddenly be seen now in all 50 states? That's what they're talking about. They're saying, he was talking about that. And then he brought up a point that made me wonder because there's been a lot more of what I'm about to talk about seen lately. And it's these orbs. And these orbs are plentiful. They're seen all over, especially in South America. So I don't know why South America so much. We don't get all the reports, but it's like they see fleets of these things flying into the air, and we're talking pretty up high, and they're moving real gracefully through the air. They do some fancy flying, or they go into each other, and then they leave each other in numbers, or it'd be just one in the sky, and then four pop out of one, and pretty dramatic stuff. And then there's one where it shows them dropping down into the ocean in a pattern. And I'm going to be honest with you, if you think about the crop circles, I don't think they've ever really answered why they make these crop circles. And I seen one crop circle a long time ago. We put a satellite in outer space. And on the satellite, it had information about humans, about us. And it described our DNA, our communication, put music on its record. It was a record on this satellite and went way out there. Well, I think it was in England that right outside of a SETI place where they, listen for outside, creatures talking to each other and stuff like that. But all of a sudden, out in the cornfield, the image of what we put on that record showed up in the cornfield. And what's funny about this whole thing is it described its DNA. It described its communication system, how it talks. And then here in New Jersey, something went on there. And this is symbolic because New Jersey is very symbolic. I mean, Orson Welles, remember the big thing about him saying the world's being invaded? Well, guess where that started out from? New Jersey. Look it up. And look up how he told that story about New Jersey, about the invasion, and how he got the whole United States all wound up. I mean, from a stupid TV show or radio show back in 1938, I think it was. But the thing is, he had the whole United States just wound up. I mean, I think from what I know, I believe people died from it. People committed suicide from it. Heart attacks, all kinds of crazy stuff happened. The militia got armed up in the whole works. I mean, we're talking, he got people really upset. But here, this guy, talk show guy I was just talking to you about, he said something of great interest to me. What if Eisenhower's agreement with the aliens that he had written, and supposedly this is what happened, Eisenhower, in exchange for knowledge, allowed the aliens to extract so many humans every year to eat, experiment with, whatever they wanted to. And they had like set parameters how they're going to do it, like homeless people, probably, alcoholics, druggies and stuff like that, because they don't care if they're on drugs or whatever. And people that are not connected to family. You don't have family, they pick you up. And this could be a great instrument of thinking about how, during this whole crap going on in the United States, everybody's acting like crazy fools, trying to destroy the church and stuff like that. If you're an alien race, the one thing you don't want is a united people. So you want to be able to strip them, and that's how you take over a country. You divide. And this could be all a psychological game, the whole thing. But he brought up something about these drones, and the drone he brought up about the drones was that the drones that we have as humans are investigating these orbs, and they're messing with them because they're pretty fast. These drones are pretty cool. I don't know if you ever watched drones fly, man. They're fast. They're really crazy fast. And to be honest with you, I believe that we do have the technology to do an aerial exchange in like a battery pack or something like that. So the drones probably don't need to land. Or I believe that, if the Chinese have anything to do with it, I believe the Chinese could be having their own bases on their land that they bought right next to our military bases. And this is where they're assembling these damn things. But I don't know. I don't think this is a Chinese thing. I really don't. I'm thinking that this thing is a thing where NORAD or our top echelon people are trying to figure out what these orbs are about. Now, why should this bother you? Why should it bother you? Think about it. The orbs have been around ever since World War II. They used to call them Foo Fighters. And even MUFON, made a lot of talk about it, about these orbs. And the thing is, these orbs, in my opinion, because of my experience with it, these orbs are not, they don't have mass. They don't have mass. I think they're controlled from another point of control. I think that they have such a super high level power that they're able to charge a molecule in our atmosphere and use the vibration it gives off like a radar, and they can see. That's what I believe. I believe that these aliens have the ability to see us through these orbs, because I think the orbs are gauging us. They're feeling us out, and actually, I think they're getting a little bit of humor out of us, because I think they like to toy with us. The other level is I was talking to one of the lead guys. His name's John. I can't remember his last name. MUFON. And this is just before I left, and he was telling me about how he had issues with these aliens or spirits, whatever. And he sincerely believed that these things were demons, spiritual type level things. And, they can go through walls, they can manifest into different, things. You do all the boogeyman thinking that you want. But, this is what the guy told me. He says that they can't get a rat's ass nest on these things because they're so damn strange. They don't fit any science that we have. And I can believe that. Anything's believable. If you believe in God, you can believe in that. But the thing is, I think these orbs are a way to see us, to observe us. And one of the lady talked to an orb, and this is what she says. She's referring to Jesus or something like that. And the orb started to vibrate. Now you can take that and divide it by 12, and 0.1% of that might be true. But I watched the video, and if it's legitimately, come on, it's pretty deep stuff here. It vibrated. Now, why do I bring that up? Okay, I'll tell you why. In California, there was this dude that used to stand outside, and a lot of people seen this guy do this. He would look up in the sky, and these freaking orbs would come down. These orbs would come down within visual sight of the person, and he would call them down. And a lot of people seen this in California. He did it in Las Vegas in front of a crowd of people. and he would talk to these things. Now, what he talked to them about, I can't remember exactly, but I I believe that they can hear you. And let me tell you the reason why I say that. Because when I was at World's End Campground, and I was there with a witness, and the whole thing was a really strange thing for me. Was I was riding my Harley, and I was there with a gal, and we met a sheriff there, and he told us, yeah, that night they're going to have the SETI organization or something like that. They're telescope guys, right? They're all these like fruitcake guys, all these big telescopes, and it's open to the public. Come on out. Now, folks, look at your mapping. Look up World's End State Park. World's End. It's in Pennsylvania. It's right in the middle of Pennsylvania, more on the eastern side, center of Pennsylvania. Anyways, if you look at it and get on Google it, and you'll see a building up from the river. It's up. It's just a little ways up from the river, and it's a building sitting there. Well, they have all these telescopes, and there's a driveway that goes up to the building, and then it kind of goes downhill to the right. Okay, so hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. I don't know how to do that fancy stuff in the computer stuff. Okay, I'm an old fart. I'm 200 years old. So the thing is, he was showing us these planets, and he used a laser beam, and he's pointing up the sky. It's a pretty bright damn thing. I couldn't believe it. And he's pointing, and I looked up, and I saw this great big silver thing, and I thought it was an airplane at first, or I thought it was Skylab. You know, that's what I thought. I said, dude, is that Skylab? He goes, nope, not supposed to be there this time at night. Okay, and he points at the craft with his laser beam, and all of a sudden, a pin of light came down. A bright ball of light came down and went boop, right in front of me. I mean, I could reach out and grab if I wanted to. And the guy, he looks at me, and he looks away, and he tells everybody to stand there because there's like 30 people standing there. He goes, now look over here, everybody. Meanwhile, I stayed there right next to that building that you're probably looking at when you have a chance. And it stayed within probably, I want to say 3 feet of the gutter. And it was like a good 8 feet up off the ground. And so it was within arm's reach of me. I could actually, if I jumped, I could probably grab it, you know. And it was it was about a 6-inch ball. And it was the most brilliant, furry kind of light coming out of it. And it was no solid, definite edge on it. But there was a black dot in the center. And as it moved along the gutter, it went horizontally horizontally across right level with the gutter, and I can actually see a black dot. You couldn't see through it, and you could see the gutter light up from it. It would light up the gutter. Now we're talking, it was like 2 feet, maybe 3 feet from the gutter, and it lit up the gutter. Okay, it wasn't so bright that you couldn't look at it. You can look right at it. In fact, it was very pleasing to look at. It was neat. At first, I thought it was a firefly. That's exactly what I thought. But it went about 16 feet along that gutter, and then stopped. And then it went down the side of the building. You'll see that side of the building on the right-hand side. It went down and it stopped. And I started walking towards it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be alone with this thing because I don't know what it's up to, you know? So I stop, and it stops. I back up. It backs up. It comes back out, and it comes out, and it comes right to my right, and it stops. And I'm looking, and I start talking to it. Hi, are you real? Whatever. I mean, are you here for a reason? Are you watching us? I mean, what's up? Talk to me. Tell me what's up, you know? And it starts going down that driveway to the right of the building, going down. And I'm about 30 feet away from my friend I'm with, my girlfriend. She sees it. She's watching the whole thing. And she is absolutely just scared to death. She can't speak or nothing. But she sees me walking with it. You know, because I'm curious. I'm scared, but, you know, I'm a pretty big guy. I can't imagine this little fuzzy ball. You know, it was like bright orange and yellow, and it was like, and I'm colorblind. I'm really colorblind. Like bright yellow and orange and blue, and it was like swirling around. It's kind of the same kind of light you see when you see electric motor running. You look in, you see the brushes touching the armature, and it's like spinning, right? Or that Tesla ball with lightning all through it, right? but it's smooth and it's like baby fur of a cat. It was really beautiful. And my gal ran up and grabbed me by my collar, yanked me back in my collar, choked me, and it took off. So I walked back and I'm like kind of shook by the whole thing. So I go back and that guy there, the one of the telescope guys, I said to him, I go, hey, did you see what I see earlier? He goes, I've seen a lot of things I cannot explain. And he wouldn't talk to me. He walked away. He was shaking. He was shaking all over. Nobody else saw what happened. But what I'm saying is this thing is intelligent. You could not see through the black, and it felt like when I was looking in the black, I could walk into another room. Like there was another room inside that. Like in Doctor Who. Remember Doctor Who? And you go inside a spaceship and it's a really big thing. Well, that's what it was like. I mean, I was looking into this thing and I concentrated into that thing. But the thing is, these Foo Fighters have been around here for a long time. They call them Foo Fighters back in World War II. Our military has seen these things while they're doing their bomb raids in Germany. I don't know about Japan, but I know that in Germany. I think that our government might have had a timetable on those things. I don't know. They might have had a timetable on Eisenhower with the contract with these aliens. And our government might be concerned about these things. Now, you remember the Mayans, they had their thing about some crazy crap supposed to happen, a few years ago. Maybe their clock's off by a little bit. But this might be some of the things that the Mayans were trying to warn us about, where, these aliens are going to come back. And we've been having crazy storms. We're having solar storms. And all this can be controlled in such a way that it may seem like demonic and spiritual, but these people, these aliens could be 50 million years advanced. They're super advanced. They may be in another dimension living right amongst us, and we don't even know it. They're like, listen, they could be in this room right now listening to us. And another thing I've discussed before with MUFON is when these spaceships, they chased them. They chased the spaceships. They chased the Tic Tacs, and they clocked these things at like 8,000 miles an hour. Okay, and then the spaceship's going like this, and all of a sudden it goes like this. It's going 8,000 miles and 8,000 miles. It don't slow down to 100 miles and then goes up. No, it's 8,000 up like that. There's no way we can do that. There's something about it. They have complete control of gravity, and they're able to hold their mass together. And like I said, it don't affect them inside. And that's the whole thing about this. They're trying to catch these aliens. They're trying to figure out how their systems work because they're getting close to understanding it. And I don't think that these drones or these orbs will ever let us know. I don't think they will. I really don't think they will. I don't think they can let us know because they don't have mass. That's why they just boop, gone. They come and they go, boop, gone. Now, how do we explain away what happened down there in Brazil with the girl, where these aliens are floating around? Well, let's go back to 1940, I think it's 1946, where these hillbillies were at home one time, and there was a crash in town, and a spacecraft crashed, supposedly. And these weird things were floating around. And the hillbillies seen these things. They start shooting at them. They reported that these things were like shooting at soda cans. Like the rounds were bouncing off them. It wasn't even affecting them. And they were climbing on top of the roof. They were shooting at these things left and right. These are some hardy hillbillies, scared as all hell. But they fought like hell, too. My point is that I'm thinking that we're about to face these son of guns stepping out. They're coming here. They're building up. And, their craft can go 8,000 miles an hour. Can ours? No. So just imagine what their capabilities are now. The ones that down there in Brazil were floating around, they were just grabbing the kids and something about ripping their faces off. I don't know what the hell that was all about. I mean, I try to get more information about it. It's just like they wash it all out. They don't want the public to know the truth. And I've talked to some people myself, and they said the people are so freaking scared to death down there. They're horrified. The people would gather together in a building, and these creatures were floating around on like surfboards around the outside of the building, trying to reach through the bamboos to grab the children or grab the women, because I don't know what they're trying to do to their faces, but they're doing weird crap to these people. What's to say these aliens aren't gearing up, and our government's trying to, give them a run for the money so they won't think about it? But here's the thing, if we're getting these, they're in all 50 states now. So what's it going to be like in a month from now? What's it going to be like in 6 months from now? And all of a sudden they decide to make their big move. Is this the reason why we had those, out there in Israel, the sand people place, where they had holes in the ground like ants, rolling big round rocks in front of doors to keep the aliens out? Is that what that was all about? You got to tie all this together. You got to tie all the world events together. What's going on? What's happened in the past? And Sumerian tablets. You got to read. Read what the Gilgamesh wrote. Their people wrote about how they came here to get the gold. Is there something to that? That's the whole thing. Is there something to that? And my thing is that they found those tablets and stuff, and they figured they know how to read it because Sumerian is still read. And they're able to found, thanks to the Iraqi war, we got those tablets and all that stuff, and we found out that crap is older than the Bible. And actually, there's a story in those tablets about a guy named Enki that supposedly he's one that made humans. Is there something to that? But the thing is, the Bible's all written by a whole bunch of people. You know what I mean? It's all written by a whole bunch of different people. We don't know if they've been smoking dope or doing crack cocaine. I mean, you don't know. But the thing from the Enki stories and Gilgamesh and all that kind of stuff like that, there's something to it. There is something to those stories. And there's something to the story about the Indians, about how they're flying Vamela, whatever. They had flying machines that used liquid mercury, and they were able to make a electromagnetic field. There's something to it. They were copycatting technology that they didn't totally understand. They thought they did, but they didn't totally understand. And now we're at that point where we're trying to understand again. And are we trying to steal their technology? But the thing is, I think these some bitches are coming back. That's what I'm thinking. I think they're coming. They're going to make a comeback. What would be the end product of it? I don't know. Are they spiritual? Are they coming back for the right reason? Are they going to get rid of all these woke people and get rid of all these people trying to kill people when they're trying to sleep and stuff like that? I don't know. I haven't really seen them being do-gooders or anything like that. I really hope they are. I'd like to see them make the world a better, nicer place. Wouldn't you, everybody? But I want everybody to think about it and pay attention to all this stuff. I know, I don't have a lot of big following, but I'm bringing some information forward, and that I've seen stuff, and I know stuff, and I know people, and you might want to really listen to what I'm saying. I know you guys, CIA, are out there listening to what I'm saying, and you know what I'm talking about.